Now I'm not muted. And now I should be live. Welcome. Welcome to Hope Nation Live. I am John. Some people call me Halcyon. And I am honored to be sharing this morning practice with you. Sharing gratitude, sharing connection, reminding each other that no matter what the news says, the world would rather hug you than hurt you. And we are the examples of that. So thanks for being here. Welcome, Kirill and Soleil and Grassroots. Hey, good to see everybody. If you were here, comment a little bit that you are grateful for, or a large bit, something magical and huge, or something teeny and tiny that you're taking from beneath the threshold of awareness and taking for granted into, you know what? I'm grateful that I have three, four pink fur coats, fake fur coats, that I will be able to share with friends and attendees of this weekend's pink party. But I'm also grateful that I've got heating in this home, so it is not so cold that I need this jacket. And because these are prescription glasses, I don't need them right now either. Welcome, Essential Obsession. Welcome, High Noon. High Noon says, hello, y'all, and a big hug from the pods of the Cape. Hello to you, and good day. So if you're in the pods of the Cape, does that mean it's noon for you? That's why I'm trying to break the habit of saying good morning. This used to be called Love Morning, and then so many people are participating from East Coast or Europe, and it is Hug Nation Live, wherever you are. Hug Nation began in 2001, co-founded by this guy, Grandpa Caleb, Reverend Earl Scheichels, my grandpa, beautiful man. You can see archives of him on the Hug Nation YouTube channel if you're curious. Good morning, Gerbot. Good morning, Juan. And hello, Rooster. I've got a little flyer on the screen for the Pink Heart Party that is happening this Saturday night in San Diego. It is always a great time. It is a gathering of local burners, and we get to just sink into 10 principles, connections, and there's a cuddle puddle that is epic, and the music this year is going to be incredible. Nikki Genesis and Kaztek are so good. If you ever listen to the Stay Spark podcast, we did an episode a while back with the founder of Lucid Mushroom Nootropic Drinks. That's Kaztek. And in that episode, we talked about his being a very successful DJ and an entrepreneur. So, but he's slamming their music. It's going to be awesome. And Skandar is another one of my favorites. Every DJ playing is going to be super fun. Of course, Donald he plays a lot of ours and it's always rocks the house. I'm planning on doing a little dancing, a little shake. What are you grateful for? I want to hear. Oh, my volume is low. Let's see why. Oh, I know.
It's been using the wrong audio. It should be better now. How weird. Thanks for checking in and let me know. Heinun says, grateful for curiosity. I was just writing about curiosity and what a significant trait that is. If you know someone who's truly curious, they're so likable and I'm trying to cultivate more curiosity. Welcome, Ichabod and Melody. What you grateful for? Leave a comment so we can share it with the class. Yeah, Gerbot, how was the slopes? Thanks, Eric and Genevieve. Yeah, I have a setup here where I have basically 3 cameras and 1, 2, 3 microphone options, and occasionally it'll switch on me. I mean, obviously, I want this microphone that's right in front of me, but I have to be careful with my P's and my so I don't make a popping sound. If I really wanna do it correctly, I gotta do this. And that way, I won't make the popping sound so badly, but I don't like it because it covers so much of my face, and well, I guess it's just covering my beard, but, you know, I've been working so long to grow it, it seems a shame to cover it up. I am grateful for Heart Centered Men, the men's group that started last year with my mentor and dear friend Ishmael. And we are planning to do another event this year in May in Santa Barbara. And then I'm going to be doing smaller events in San Diego throughout the year. So hit me up if you might want to join me for an in person men's group, or if you want to have interest in a digital one. I have been talking with some people and have plans in the works to do some online men's work, which is a broad term. We don't like beat drums, but well, that's a topic for another time. Melody is grateful for free will. Thanks for sharing. I like that one. Gerbot is grateful for a good day on the mountain yesterday with no injuries. You know, I love that. A younger version of me did not usually include no injuries on my list of gratitude, but now I do. In fact, the last time I went skiing, my mantra going up the lift, skiing down, don't get hurt, don't get hurt, don't get hurt, don't get hurt. Whenever like that younger teenage version of me was like, ooh, jump. My now me was like, hey, don't get hurt. Right. Okay. Good morning, Mingle. I love you too. Looking forward to seeing you this weekend. And Gerbot, this weekend is the Love Ambassador meetup in San Diego. We're having a little mini retreat in my home. So if you could be in San Diego this weekend, let me know. There is still room if people would want to join us. Hi, Linnea. Mingle is grateful for a sunny day in San Francisco. Welcome, Alasaki. Genevieve says, grateful for perspective. I've had more losses this year than other years and know that means I am blessed to have so many great people in my life. Does that make sense? So I'm glad the holidays are over. It's hard to have empty chairs around the table. Absolutely makes sense. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, grief and loss, the only reason we experience grief is because we had something awesome. We had a piece of our heart filled with someone else. And what a gift that is. And so when we lose them, it hurts. And it's a reminder of that gift. And it is a reminder to treasure the gifts that remain alive in this dimension with us at this point. Where is Jill now? Where is Jill now? And what is Jill grateful for? Leave a comment. Let us know. Hi, Sophia. Heinun says, I'm grateful for the core memory of those who helped me start snowboarding at the age 8. It helped this being with cerebral palsy by being seen as being more seen as being that is able. Love in 1994. That's rad. I love that. Oh, cool. What a cool core memory. Oh, I am not proud to admit that I've only gone snowboarding once. When I was a kid, I learned skiing. My family would ski at least 2 weeks a year. And for a Southern Californian, I got pretty good. Like ski underneath the lift and do hot dog back scratcher jumps under the lift and get hoots and hollers, and which, as a 18-year-old or something, that my ego enjoyed that. And then college years came and snowboarding became a thing. And suddenly it was like uncool to ski. I think we've now come full circle. So you can be a cool skier and you can be a cool snowboarder. But there was a period of time when skiing was for old people. And so I'm like, okay, I'll try snowboarding. So one day I was like the hot shot on the slopes. And the next day I was the beginner fall, 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 fall. And at that time in my life, I did not have the capacity to work through not being good at something, especially after I was feeling so much ego pride from being good at a similar thing. And so I stopped for, I also had some injuries, but that was the main reason was like, I don't want to do that. Was not fun. I don't like sucking. And this decades later, I'm now trying to relearn how to not be good at something. That's what my experience joining the choir this year was all about. And I did go skiing this year, or last 3 years, actually, no, 3 years ago, because I went skiing for the first time in 20 years, days before I met Lisa. It's all part of our love story, actually. Natasha says, I'm so thankful for my Love Ambassador stickers. Yay! Thank you, John and Lisa. Yay! Awesome. I posted in my newsletter, which you can subscribe to. The link to it is on lifestudent.com. Lifestudent.com is where all my stuff is, most of my stuff. And you can subscribe to my Substack. And every once in a while, I'll say, hey, if you're reading this one, send me your address and I'll send you some stickers. So I gave you one that I don't give to too many people. The big Love Ambassador one that looks good on a car. Heinen says skis and boards are equal. Well, with all of the strife and tension in the world today, it warms my heart to know that skiers and snowboarders are living in a world of mutual respect. Is that true? Juan says, the weather in San Francisco is wonderful today, and I can see Oakland. Urban Monk, hello, says, I am grateful for laughter. Laughter wakes me up and brings up my energy. Me too. Oh, I'm going to take a pause and share the video that I ended up sending to a lot of people yesterday because it is very relevant to what you just said. Actually, I sent it to everybody from my phone. So keep sending your gratitudes in and I will get it up in one moment. I promise I'm not going to let you down. I would never do that. Gerbot says, it's good to embrace the beginner's mindset. Totally. I mean, I really got clear that if I can't get over that, I am dramatically reducing the opportunities to enjoy life. I'm still working on it. Okay.
Look, I wish I was calling for a reason that was fun. But look, I'm calling to let you know that this year we need to take things seriously. Seriously. I mean, like, seriously, we have to be serious and not be so silly because silliness is a. What? What? You're saying that's not true? Wait. Okay, 1 second.
Don't listen to him. Stay the course. Silliness forever. Team Silly. So I sent that to a few friends yesterday and most loved it. one person, I could tell that they were having a tough day with politics, and I think they were they were funny in their response, but I think they were kind of was like, "How dare you be so silly when there's so many reasons to be scared and alarmed," which I totally get, but and I think that if you're here, you probably understand, uh, you know, gratitude and silliness is a yes and. It is there life is suffering. There is so much injustice. There's so many reasons to be overwhelmed and discouraged. So it takes effort to focus on the good stuff. You get to give yourself permission to laugh when you can, dance when you can, celebrate when you can, and not ever fall into that kind of mind trap of saying, how can I enjoy myself when there are so many others that are not? And how can I find bliss in this chocolate cake while others are hungry? And you can't do that. So silliness in most things. And also one of my core beliefs came from Alan Watts, who was like, look, life is to be lived sincerely, not seriously. Linnea, oh wait, Renee, thank you. Linnea. Pleasant. Welcome, Elephant Game, and Make More Light. Oh, you couldn't. Oh. Huh. All right. Oh, awesome. Natasha says that Love Ambassador sticker is going on hubby's car. Sweet. Hello, Edna. High Noon says there is tension between many skiers and boarders, but as a snowboard coach, I have been trying to change that with love and kindness. Yes. That's where we need love ambassadors. Well, everywhere. So thank you. Welcome, Coley Holyoke. So Gerbot couldn't see the video. Was that true for anybody else? Natasha also got a Hug Monster sticker. You know what's so awesome? So there's this family with 3 kids, and they all love Hug Monster, and the youngest one really loves Hug Monster. So like I made them a custom coloring book with the kids in it with Hug Monster, and I sent them some Hug Monster stickers, and they took them with them on a trip to Peru. And so they were taking pictures of the Hug Monster sticker in all these places around Peru. So they sent me a picture of Hug Monster at Machu Picchu. How fucking cool is that? Hello, Nadobi. Welcome. Urban Monk says, when politics gets you down, that is the perfect time for comedy, silliness, and goofiness. And yes, and we can find groups like this that help see the spectrum of color we miss otherwise. Yeah, that's the joy of community sharing when we share from this authentic, true places is that we multiply the perspective of life, of what it is to be human. So I don't know what it's like to be a snowboarding instructor, but I get to get a peek of it. I don't know what it's like to have cerebral palsy. I get a peek of it as you share your life. I don't know what it's like to be a woman. I don't know what it's like to have any family dynamic except the one I have. I don't know what it's like to that. But as if we genuinely share our truth, not the facade we think people want to hear or that we're trying to impress people, but if we share our truth and we find others that celebrate and really understand the value of that gift of truth, then we each get to dramatically expand our understanding of being a human. So thanks, everyone. Nate says, we burning this year. Nice. It's the best. I don't think I'm going this year. At least I don't have plans. If all goes according to my current plans, I will be skipping my second year in a row after attending 27 years. We'll see. Got a wedding to plan, and at least our initial wedding is not going to be on Playa. Hi, I'm just Stella. Good morning. Good day. What are you grateful for? I am grateful for coloring books and coloring. I'm super grateful that I have the Love Ambassador meetup this weekend, a once a year physical gathering of a lot of people that are regulars here and others that are just called to that knowing that we are the ones that have the ability to make the world a better place, which doesn't mean that we need to lead marches or dig wells in Africa. It means that we need to really tune into the kind of person that we want to be in the world. And then just let that infuse all we do and trust and know that that creates ripples that affects the world. So less focus on what do I need to do? What needs fixing? And more, who can I be? Who do I want to be? What is my truth? What are the qualities? Presence, patience, curiosity. What are my gifts that I can share with the world? And if I can live according to those ideas, and if I can really live in a state of gifting, meaning looking for the ways that my specific resources, talents can reduce suffering or lift someone's day or add light in any way. If I just keep my head in a swivel and go, oh, hey, this person's carrying packages, I can open the door. Oh, I have a friend that needs a ride at the airport. Oh, this person who's living on the streets needs to be seen and listened to as they share a story about their mom. Then I am living in that state and I can trust that that is making the world a better place. And then every so often, you might be faced with an opportunity to do something that is truly heroic. And you'll say yes, because that's just the way that you have trained your mind to think, trained your being to be. The example that always comes to me is a few years ago, I do this every morning at 9, and then I lead a gratitude circle in noon every day at noon. That you're totally welcome. It's free. You just show up. Never takes more than 30 minutes. People share about a minute each of something they're grateful for. It's lovely. It's like this, but we get to see faces. And there was a regular in our group, Anna, who was living in Kiev when the Ukraine was invaded, and she fled to the border with her kid. And someone else in our gratitude circle, 2 people, one in Paris and one person in Austria, they drove 10 hours and another 10 hours, and they picked her up from the airport and they helped her find a place to live. So some days just being the kind of person you want to be means opening doors for people. Some days it means, oh, I need to be tending myself. I need to practice self-care. I need to rest. I need to let go of the shoulds and just let myself rest and take care of myself. But some days it's like, oh, I know someone who is a refugee that needs a ride from the border. All right, I know what I'm doing for the next 24 hours. I'm driving and getting them. That's how I want to live. And I think the more of us that live that way, which doesn't mean you're being a hero every day or maybe never called to, because the heroism isn't in the grandiosity, it's in the direction of our movement. It is no less heroic to drop everything and listen to your child as they are expressing a struggle they're going through. So thank you, fellow love ambassadors, for heeding the call. EJ Marsham says, hello, I'm grateful for my students. Love it. And I'm Just Stella says, I'm grateful for you and being alive. Those two are on my list too. Thanks for sharing. Urban Monk says, I have to get out to California and spend some time with you and Hug Nation in person. Not sure how I'm going to do it, but I will figure it out. Well, life is long and lots can happen. That was one of Jacob Glass, one of my spiritual teachers. One of his mantras was, lots can happen. Like when you start to create a story of like, oh man, I'm never going to do this, or I'm never, or I don't have the money. It's like, hey, lots can happen. Leave a crack open for possibility. For example, my old story of my reality did not include finding the partner of my dreams and building a life together with the most amazing human being I've ever met. I didn't even, but thank goodness I was able to receive and take action when that opportunity presented itself. If you're new here, I'm engaged to a truly incredible human being. So inspiring, so beautiful, so she makes me a better person and she makes the world a better place. Thank you, Edna. Gerbot says, I'm also grateful to have spent a season teaching snowboarding. Oh, right on. It was so rewarding to share the skill with people who are new to the sport. That's super cool. Isn't that incredible, Christina? Yeah. We're all the heroes and the heroines. Heroines, is that right? Heroin? Yes, we're all heroin and opiates. Urban Monk says, I started coaching swimming after taking 12 years off last September and love it. It is incredibly stressful and hits every emotion almost on a daily basis, but I love it and I love being a mentor. That's so cool. Yeah, I'm going to feel into ways that I might be able to be more of a mentor. I've been so blessed with the mentors and influences that I've had in my life, like Grandpa Caleb and Ishmael and Jacob Glass and my dad. And yeah, thank you. Edna says, so true. I used to tell people that helped me that they were my hero because in that moment they were. And it's not like there's heroes and those that need saving. All of us, sometimes we are the hero and sometimes we are the damsel in distress, or maybe that's a poor metaphor, but the magic is when we receive gratefully, joyfully, beautifully, and we give gratefully, joyfully, beautifully. We both get to feel better. If you feel like, oh, I don't need help, then you rob the other person the chance of feeling and getting to be the hero, and you struggle. I like to, somebody pointed out to me a couple of years ago as I was like trying to lift all this gear and carry some camping stuff. They said, do you need any help? And I'm like, no, I'm good. And they paused a few seconds. They said, would it be any easier if I helped you? And I said, yes. Like I was so resistant to needing help. I don't need help. But could they make it easier? Oh yeah. And so they got to be my hero, and they felt good to help. I was so happy to have the help. Like, welcome, Vidalia and Tilting Stars. DTO, lots can happen. So huge. It reminds me of Byron Katie stuff. And, if you're not familiar with Byron Katie, I highly recommend watching her YouTube videos or reading Loving What Is. That book changed my life. But she has this process of the work. And the first question of the work is 4 questions. First is that true? Second question, can you be absolutely certain that that's true? And almost always, the answer to the second question is no, because lots can happen. I'm never going to be president. Lots can happen. Well, you're actually not even allowed to be president because if I'm not born in this country. That's what it says currently in the Constitution. But I mean, have things changed? Lots can happen. Gerba, reflecting on that, could it be any easier as opposed to do you need help? I love that reframing, says Gerbot. I was shocked how differently my mind was able to receive that. It was like gunk. Good morning, Bunny. Urban Monk says, I have a hard time asking for help, but when I finally ask for help, I get over the embarrassment of feeling inadequate and start to learn and feel better about my situation. Yeah. One thing that I try to remind myself sometimes is if I'm like feeling awkward is I think, how would I feel if someone asked me for help? There was a time in my life when I was in my early 20s, I resented anyone asking for my time because I felt I had important things to do and I was my mission. But thank goodness I grew and learned and realized that there's nothing that brings me joy more than helping someone else. And so if I can, I love it when someone gives me the opportunity to help them. Because most of the activities in the day are like, I think this is worth my time. This is probably, yeah, okay. But if I know I'm helping someone, that's absolutely a good use of my energy and time. Now, if someone takes advantage and they habitually overstep and ask too much and push, you also have to be good with your boundaries and say the truth and say, oh, actually, no, I don't have time to do that. Good luck finding someone to help you. But if I can, I'm glad I get to be the hero here. And so if I resist asking for help, am I robbing my friend of the opportunity to be a hero? That's no fair. Bunny's asking, what's the topic today? Gifting, receiving. It's amazing how my mind works. I have no memory of what we were talking about more than 30 seconds ago. Heinun says, grateful for the space-time to have sparks of curiosity in those I have taught, or to facilitate sparks of curiosity in those I have taught. So much love for all kids I worked with. I've tried not to put them in boxes. It reminds me of the quote that I keep coming back to and I've shared so often over the last couple of weeks of the interview with Bob Odenkirk when they asked him, who are you jealous of? And he said, parents of young kids. Because when my kids were little, as crazy as life was and as hectic as it was, I knew my purpose. I knew what I need to be doing. That's helping those kids. And I think there's something to that. Like if you're mentoring, if you're teaching children, if you're facilitating the growth of a young spirit, that is purposeful. Christina says, that's a great reframe, allowing others to be the hero, because I definitely don't ask for help enough. That's the theme today, Bunny. That there's two parts to being a love ambassador in the realm of gifting. One is keeping the mindset of I want to be gifting because I know that as I make other people happier, it makes me happier. So being aware of what is my inventory of gifts that I have, what are the talents, what are the resources, time, what are the things that I have available to me, so that when an opportunity comes, you go, oh, I would like to help here. Thanks for letting me help. So one is just keeping that so that when the small opportunities come, like, sure, I'll pick you up at the airport. You say yes without even thinking about it. And then when the big opportunities come, the example we're talking about earlier is, someone that you've only met online is a refugee. You're like, yeah, I'll help. And changes the direction of multiple lives and your whole concept of who you are in the world. And then the other side is that for all that to work, we need to communicate with one another when we need help. And we talked about the difference between saying, I need help, or this would be easier if I got some help because I don't need anything, but it would be easier. And when you let somebody know, it would be easier for me if I had some help here, you're giving them the opportunity to be a hero, to give you joy by lifting your burden. And then when they know that they're lifting your burden or helping you out, they feel great. Win-win. And then, as we should be doing in all ways, communicating our gratitude. Thank you. That's come up a few times with me lately too. The art of receiving. I had a friend recently who they had a relative that there was some awkwardness in the family and someone died. And so they said, hey, that we talked and, we'd like to give you some of this money. And they said, I don't know, I feel kind of awkward taking this. I mean, I'll take it, but I just feel really weird about it. And they said, I had to tell them the truth. I was like, did ya? Did ya? I mean, they wanted to give you something to make you feel good, which would then make them feel good. If you receive and go, I don't know, then you rob them of the feeling the good part. The same is true when someone gives you a gift and you go, oh, I didn't know we were exchanging gifts. I didn't get you anything. It's like, no, I wanted you to feel better. If you are expressing to me now that you feel worse, then you've robbed me the joy of this gift. No, just say thank you. Just say, oh, I love it. Edna says, do you have other children? I only know of Asher. I was going to joke, not that I know of, but I do know because I had a vasectomy 15 years ago, and Asher is a result of IVF. Yeah, Asher is the only product of my genetics. Bunny says, was hearing you guys talking about boundaries, and I feel that. What's a good medium between being direct and concerned versus doing it in a mean way? Ooh, what a great question. Well, I think the key to good boundaries is clarity without energy behind it or emotion. You don't say, you continually lose your shit and yell at me, and I refuse to talk to you if you're not going to be more respectful. You got energy there. A boundary is, I'm only willing to have phone or in-person conversations if we remain calm and voices stay relaxed and there's no yelling. That's a very reasonable boundary, and when you can go, okay, I'm walking away. I was very clear about this boundary. Hopefully is that close to what you're asking? Um, so Urban Monk says, courage and strength to ask for help for yourself allows others to be the hero of your older story, of your own story. Oh, wait, older was from before. Sorry, I'm messing things up. Bunny saying, I also feel like when I was treated harshly by parents, bosses, teachers, etc., the older I get, I'm actually grateful for that hard lecture and lesson. Without it, I couldn't grow. I'd be stuck. Boy, that is one of the core gifts of wisdom. And as you grow and learn, you learn that so often the experiences that are difficult have gifts in them. The things we overcome make us stronger. The stuff we didn't think we could do and then we do it gives us confidence. And all of our struggles, all of our difficulties, everything that we work through and live through and survive becomes the experiences, the curriculum that we can teach to others. So in the moment, sucky things suck. With space, it's often easy to find gratitude for the things that were hard. Victoria, good morning, good day. Victoria says, no, you just walk away. That's reasonable. But the key, I think, is, just to think of boundaries for a bit, is what is required for you to establish a framework that works for you without getting angry? And I often use the model of like, what if this was a dog that was raised and abused by someone else, and it has traits. Maybe it pees whenever it gets excited, or it bites. You don't say, you fucking shitty dog. You go, okay, I need to keep this dog outside whenever it meets new people, so that when it pees outside. I don't hate the dog. I'm not angry at the dog. That's just what the dog does. So, or if it bites people, it's got to be caged. Maybe even put down if it bites. But like, I'm not angry. I don't hate the dog. It's just, so what, I'm not suggesting that you cage or put down the humans in your life, but metaphorically, you could say, we're not going to visit anymore. Or we're going to communicate via text and emails until we can develop civil communication that does not have insults, name calling, or blaming. In the future, I'd be open to phone calls or in person. That's this dog that pees or that barks. Like, I'm not coming in your cage. Bunny says, absolutely. When we're young, we just resent the hard times, when really the universe means for us to benefit and grow from the experience. That's life as is. Yep. Heinen says, my inner child is working through the shame for feeling big feeling. And then as an adult, it has robbed me of not asking for help because I don't want to overwhelm anyone and lose them. I mean, that's really good. And that's, some of the work that we do, with attachment theory is when you learn growing up that, there's not space for your big feelings, and maybe your parental figures or whoever is your attachment bond, they might pull away when or get silent or whatever their reaction is that you interpret as, "Oh, if I feel big, I lose love is withdrawn." That is a hard repair. And so, having a therapist that you can build an attachment with, having really close friends, having a romantic partner that you can build attachment and then relearn that they are going to be there through the wholeness and the truth of who you are, including your big feelings. That's how we slowly start to uh, reintegrate uh, those parts of ourselves. That's the work, as they say, and it's hard. I mean, I have a few of those areas that are really clear that I've been working on and been finding progress with over the last few years. So thanks for sharing that with us. That was beautiful. Urban Monk says, it's really hard to have frustration, which can lead to anger. That's why I have to just try to laugh on the inside, sometimes on the outside, to keep from going to anger. I am no expert on anger. My anger, I'm not skilled with anger, and so I am afraid of losing control and going to rage. But I know of people, and my therapist is helping me to understand that there's nothing inherently wrong with anger, and anger can be a passionate emotion that can be channeled. But for those of us with not a lot of practice, it it's scary. Yeah, and then you don't want. I mean, you don't want to just say it's whatever to anything that causes you frustration. So it's how do you navigate that? That's big stuff, Urban Monk. Urban Monk says, not laughing at the persons, but the idea of, do I really need to be frustrated at the situation? Usually the answer is no. And when you have the capacity, it can be really helpful to be like, what about this is causing me to be triggered and so frustrated by this? What am I attached to? What what behavior is bothering me so much? Because for me, sometimes the insight is, oh, this is something that I think I still judge myself for a little bit, or I used to do, and I'm embarrassed that I used to do that. Or because, you know, if it was an old dog doing this, you'd just be like, oh man, this poor thing. Or a little kid, like, oh my goodness, this poor thing. But when it's a friend, a parent, a peer, a coworker, you're like, what the fuck? Urban Monk says, what is causing me to be triggered to a frustration? Brilliant. Thank you. And I can say that if I can do that, I've had moments where I was like, whoa. And there are people in my life now that I have frequent interactions with where I'm like, oh my gosh, I am so annoyed by this person. Okay. What is it? What is it? Like, they're not causing me physical pain. They're not, but I'm having to be patient. What is it? Bunny says, sometimes it's good to let out anger, but in a healthy way. Metal music, martial arts, exercise. There are lots of ways to harness that deep, frustrating feeling. Totally. high noon. Grateful for the therapist, y'all, for helping me heal and reconnect to my authentic self. Yeah, I was in a men's group a year ago, and actually a number of men that I really love and respect have practices of like one of my dear friends, he goes to the boxing gym at least once a week. And other guys in martial arts, and I was like, oh, right. I mean, they are not scared of, the aggression. They they channel it. So healthy. I mean, I'm nowhere near that, but I so respect it. Welcome, Love Eights and Danishka. Oh my gosh, we've almost been here an hour, so we're gonna close up. But thank you for the beautiful conversations and thoughts and inspirations. Did I show you the cardboard wings that I made? Now I can't remember. There's so much I've been playing with, so much stuff. But I am super grateful for this practice and for the continued return to this lens of gratitude and remembering that there's millions and millions, if not billions, of open-hearted, like-minded people out there. And a lot of them are just keeping quiet because they think they're alone. So as we shine our light, as we are the first to say hello and good morning, we get to be the change. We get to put those ripples out there. We get to be love ambassadors. Bye, Bunny. Have a fabulous day. Bye, Victoria. Oh, I should probably play this just because I made this song and this is happening this weekend.
Leave your mind at home, don't even think. Just bring your smile and an outfit pink. Share a night of Burning Man without any dust. Smash your facade, break through the crust. Come join Pink Heart for a night at spin. Come join Pink Heart for a night at spin. Come join Pink Heart for a night at spin. Leave the dance floor with a face wide grin.
Hug coming up. Hug after this.
Come join Pink Heart.
Thanks for the reminder, Urban Monk. That would have been tragic. Or not tragic, but forgetful. So wherever you are, let's give ourselves a hug. And as you're embracing your body, feel yourself being embraced by all of us here and all who have ever been through this space, including Grandpa Caleb behind me, all of us adding our energy, our love into this shared space, this space beyond our egos into our collective humanity, feeling embraced, feeling accepted, feeling the hero as well as the one who needs help, allowing ourselves to be of service to others, looking for those ways, feeling connected as we take a deep breath in and squeeze. On behalf of Grandpa Caleb and all of us here, thanks for being here for Hug Nation Live. I love you. Enjoy your day. See some of you this weekend. Come join Pink Heart. Dun, 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 dun. Come join Pink Heart. Dun, 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 dun.